everybody. Welcome. Very weird, stuttery intro. But welcome to another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. And this is the third of 3 episodes featuring some Willet expressions. First was the Willet 4-year. I don't remember what it was called. Willet something or other. Second one was the Rowan's Creek bourbon. The first one, of course, the Willet was a rye. And then there's Rowan's Creek. And now we have the third in the triumvirate. That would be Noah's Mill. Genuine bourbon whiskey, it says. Handmade in the hills of Kentucky. It has a little tag up here. This batch of bourbon was aged in wooden barrels until fully mature, bottled by hand at 57.15% alcohol per volume, 114.3 proof. This is the highest proof of the 3. And I've liked each one. And this one, like the last one, was also aged in new charred oak barrels. It says Noah's Mill is a bourbon of extraordinary character and smoothness not found among younger whiskeys. We bottle this bourbon at a strength that best accommodates its age, and we're sure you'll enjoy it like no other bourbon. Okay, let's find out. Will it? Will it? Won't it? Will it? Lots of funny things. It's National Joke Day, by the way, as of this broadcast. By the time you see it, it won't be anymore. But I don't know. I don't really have jokes. I don't really do jokes. It's a light pop of the cork there. Synthetic cork, of course, again. Actually smells a little bit more mild than the previous one, which was 100 point something proof. But it can be deceiving. So let's see how this treats us. There. Bug on my arm. Get rid of that. And then pop the cork back in. Now this one seems slightly darker than the other two. A little bit more reddish. A little darker of a brown. Not by too much. Nice viscosity on the outside. Can't really see it very well. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Smells nice. Smells like a bourbon. Smells kind of rosy. I'm not getting some of the same notes I got in the last one, the Rowan's Creek. Although I do have a bit of a sniffle today, so I don't think I'm getting quite the right effect that I should. So hopefully the taste isn't ruined too much by whatever's going through my sinuses today. But let's take a look. Let me get rid of this on my hand. It's summer. There's bugs here in Ohio. They bug me. They bug me. National Joke Day. Okay. Let's try this. Rowan's Creek. This is not Rowan's Creek. This is Noah's Mill. Noah's Mill. Rowan's Creek was the last video. This video is Noah's Mill. Noah's Mill. Remember. Ooh. It's got a bite. It's got a bite. Ooh, that's a hot one. It settles nicely, but it starts off real hot. A lot like the rye. So it kind of came in a circle. The rye was super hot, and that kind of overwhelmed some of the flavors. The Rowan's Creek was not as spicy, and it was a lot milder. This is pretty spicy. It's pretty hot. Pretty hot stuff. It could be just owing to the proof, or it could just be to how it is. I'm not picking out any particular flavors that set it apart. It tastes like a bourbon. It tastes like a 100+ proof bourbon. My tongue is super numb now. Like my tongue is just, I've lost most of the taste buds for this on my tongue. So that tells you how much of a heat index it kind of has as far as that proof goes. A little bit of saliva generation though. Yeah, so it might be good to have with a heavy mouth watering kind of meal. Settles very slowly in the chest. I have this slow bit of heat just like sliding down my chest here. Interesting. My tongue is super numb. Like I actually feel like I'm going to start slurring words with just that one sip, and it's not from the alcohol content. I think it's just however they made it. Like there's a coating of numbness on my tongue. It's almost like when you burn yourself by eating something that's too hot, and then your tongue has that numbed kind of like blistered feeling, but without the extra kind of blistery, painful feeling after that. Let's try a second one now that we've kind of grown accustomed to it and see how it goes. Deep breath. Whew. It's still pretty hot. It doesn't back off much. The rye backed off a little bit on the second taste, but this one doesn't. This one stays full bore. And I'm not getting any individual particular flavors that set this apart from other bourbons. It just tastes like a really strong bourbon, which is decent, but the tongue numbness increases. It feels like my tongue is heavy, almost swollen in my mouth. It doesn't, I don't think it is, so I don't think I'm having like an allergic reaction, because then it'd be like, oh my gosh. But it just feels like it's, eh. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's okay. This one was, if I can get the receipt here, this one was the least expensive. No, it wasn't. This one was the second most expensive. You had the Willet 4-year, which was the first one, $69.99. This one was $67.99, not too far off. And the Rowan's Creek was $62.99. So interesting. Real interesting. I can't say that this would be the one that I would pick out of the three. I think if I had to pick out of the three, I'd pick the one with the least proof, actually, honestly, which is not always. There's not always a correlation between taste and alcohol content. Sometimes some of the really high end, super high alcohol content stuff I have really enjoyed because they've had some excellent flavor. And other times it has just overshadowed all the flavor, like this. This is a higher proof and you can't taste much else in it. It just tastes like a hot bourbon. Whereas sometimes you get things that are in the 90s or even the regular 80 proof that are absolutely delicious because there's a lot more flavor room to breathe there. So I don't know. Is it worth the $67.99? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know if any of these really have been worth quite that much. But yeah, I wouldn't buy it at that price again, I don't think. It's still a quality drink, still a quality pour. But it's just basically, if that's what you're looking for, a no nonsense, straight up, just strong tasting bourbon. Boom. There you go. Noah's Mill. and if you're prepared to pay a little bit for it, because again, that is $67.99, and yeah, it's a bit more than I would want to spend. I'd spend 40. 40 would be much more reasonable. I wouldn't feel too bad about 40, but $67.99 is getting up there. I understand why. It's all small batch stuff, but not quite worth that price tag, I don't think. So the Rowan's Creek has been the best of the three. The Willet was okay, was decent, had some flavors in there I could pick out, but a lot of it was overshadowed by the heat. And this one just doesn't have any outstanding flavors. It just tastes like bourbon, which, is not necessarily a bad thing, but in that price point, you kind of expect something more. Once you start getting into the 60 and up price point, you're starting to look for things that less expensive bourbons don't have, that less expensive whiskeys don't have. You're looking for flavor or something that'll really like wow you, and this just doesn't have that. It doesn't have it. But I don't feel bad for buying it. Like I said, I wouldn't buy it at that price again, but I don't feel bad this time. Always worth a try once. Yeah, it's just a really strong bourbon. If you drink it a little faster and you don't leave it in your mouth a little bit, you get a little burst of kind of a caramelly taste, and then it settles and then it's gone. Almost caramel apple, a little bit. Or like caramel candies, not like the Werthers from a few episodes ago, but like not a butterscotch taste quite so much, like one of those soft milk caramel things. So yeah, so that's it. So that's Noah's Creek. And now that these three are out of the way, the next video after this will be my triple tasting, where I'm going to compare all three expressions of Horse Soldier bourbon. I've tried 2 out of 3 before. You can see the review. I don't know if I did them separately on here or if I did them together, but you can see those reviews if they're separate, or that review if it's not, on this playlist somewhere closer to the bottom, because it was a lot earlier on. I don't remember what episode it was. You know what? I'm gonna find out for you. Technology. I've got my tablet, got my phone, got my computer over there. I can just take a look and find out, right? Ding 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 ding. No, don't do that. Don't just play a random video, please. Get hit with copyright strikes or something. Oh my gosh. My channel. Let's take a look. Uncanny Spirits Club. Let's go down the list. I know it was pretty early on. Let's see. I had some good ones on this list. I had an awful lot of good ones. There's a few that are not labeled. Hopefully it's not one of those. I think it is. Gosh darn it. Hey, dingus, why wouldn't you label things? I don't know. Don't know. I have to go back in and do some more updates. So let's see. What is this one? What is this one? This is episode 8. I'm drinking beers, I think. Looks like I'm drinking beer. Episode 8. Now you're all like, oh, what's he going to find? What's he going to find? Oh my gosh. Let's see, number 5. Is it episode 5? Nope, that's Glenlivet. Or Lagavulin. That was Lagavulin. Why didn't I label these? Like, what the heck is wrong with me? What the heck is wrong with me? That's High West. Ah, man, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't review it. I thought for sure that I had reviewed this. Bourbon Three-Way Dance is in there. No, 'cause 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 ' don't think so. No, I don't think it's in there either. So what? Did I review it or not? It's looking like maybe I didn't. I was pretty sure that I had reviewed this in the past because I've had it for quite a while. Meow, meow. There's cats crying in my house. Let's see. No, because this is all new stuff. That's interesting. I'm going to check to see if Rob and I reviewed it, because I don't think we did. Nope, we certainly didn't. Okay, so I have not officially reviewed Horse Soldier at all. Mind blown. Boom. Into the stratosphere. So that is going to be a great episode, because the last time I had it, I only had 2. Now I have all 3, and that's going to be awesome. I think so, anyway. I think it's going to be tasty. And that was before it showed up in the stores. Like, I got these 3 all at my local grocery store. And when I first got them, it was when it first came out. It was new. Just like the 7 Churches was new when I first got into that. New stuff, new stuff. I love being in on new things that few other people have tried right off the bat. And Horse Soldier was new, and now they've been out a while, and they showed up in my grocery store, and I didn't have to special order them. So that'll be a good episode. This episode drug on already, like longer than it should have, just from me like looking that up and figuring out that mystery. I feel better though, because I'm going to be able to go into it fresh. I don't remember what they tasted like. I remember I wasn't as keen on one as I was on the other, and they were both different than other bourbons that I had had. They weren't familiar, and I was kind of like, And that was before I'd gotten into a lot more of these other things, so my tastes have changed since then, and I'm as interested as you are. Hopefully, you are very interested in finding out how they taste. All 3 expressions of Horse Soldier Bourbon. Next video. Until then, of course, as always, cheers.